we are back here with Mr. Don's 2008 Chrysler 300. And previously we did the valve cover gaskets, we pulled the intake, we changed the EGR gasket and actually put together back his PCV system in previous videos where they did some janky stuff. But now we are fighting one last little problem. It does appear that he still has a large EVAP leak. The most likely culprit is what is called the leak detection pump, which is back here up under this wheel liner on the passenger rear tire or like wheel area. So you want to get it up, you want to get it jacked up, supported, get your tire off, which for having brand new brake pads, these rotors are pretty grooved. Looks like they probably just pad slap those. Always turn your rotors if you do the brakes. You don't want to just put pads on there. But that's beside the point. The first things first, we need to get to this pump and we need to determine whether or not it is our problem or not. And in order to get to it, we got to pull this wheel liner. This is one of Dodge's lovely, absolutely stupid things they do. So here we got this one. You'll see I already did it. This, and this all have to come out, and those are plastic rivets. So you actually have to drill the centers out. Then you could pull it forward like this, and we will cut it with some dikes. And we're gonna have to get some replacements for these. I actually think I have some laying in the shop from a different Dodge we did before that. Otherwise, we have a little 7mm right there. And then we have push pins here, 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 here. Push pins here and here. Push pin there. That looks like all of the fasteners. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill these suckers out, but you'll essentially just want a drill with a bit that will sit in the middle just like this. We'll go right down the center. Just like so. Now let's see, we should be able to grab it with our fingers, I think, and pop it. Nope, still haven't gone far enough. There it went. Ah! My drill came undone. But yeah, now that should pop right out of the hole, just like that. Now we can cut the backside. So let me get these out, and then we're going to show you a pretty fancy tool for pulling these kinds of push pins out. It's pretty neat. All right, so check these out. These are like Christmas tree push pin puller pliers. So you slide it up underneath here, and then you can hold down while pulling with that to get these things out. Let's see if we can get this fished up underneath that guy while holding the camera. Oh yeah, just like that. Now all you can do is squeeze, and then it should come out. I'm gonna have to use two hands, I think. Dude, I've tried to show these off on this Dodge now twice. There we went. So yeah, with two hands it came. Now when they get old like this, they do have a tendency of wanting to fold up in half, just like your standard Christmas tree. So it can be a bit of a booger, but it's way easier than the alternative. So these are really nice. I'll have a link, by the way, for these, and as well as the leak detection pump if we change it, and any other things in the description below and up top from Amazon, which does really help us out if you order that. But otherwise, you can buy them and they go like any local auto parts store. But yeah, so now I'm going to go ahead and get all the rest of these push pins out, and then take the 7mm out, and we will pull this wheel liner and see what we find. All right, here we are. We got the wheel liner off, and here is our leak detection pump right here. So there is a way to test these, but you need to have it off the vehicle. So let's get it removed, and then we'll go over what you're supposed to do. And I'll actually probably just link another fellow who describes it very, very well. I don't have my power probe today, so I'm not going to even bother with it. This thing is 30 bucks, so I will gamble my own $30 on whether or not this fixes the problem, because it's such a known issue with these large EVAP leaks. But you're going to unplug that harness, which you saw was just a squeeze tab and depress, and then you pull. Then we're going to need to get this hose off of this guy right here, and then we can squeeze this tab behind it like so, and then we're going to rotate it, I think clockwise, and then it will pop right out of here. She's crusty, y'all. I got it to start turning, so we're going to turn it all the way down and then slide it right out just like that. Now we'll release this hose off the other end, which is just a little gummed on there, but just rotate it and twist it, and then it'll come off just like that. Now here you go. You can hear there's a magnet in here. And so the way you test this thing essentially is this side over here looks for vacuum, this side looks for positive pressure, right? And then you can put a power probe on here and basically blow in this side and see if it gives it 12 volts and suck on it. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description below of a guy who describes this very well. but because it's $30 and I don't have the tools here in the shop currently, I'd rather not wait. I'd rather just go get a $30 part, put it in, and see if that seems to help. If not, then we'll regroup and do like an actual smoke test and figure this thing out. But for now, I'm gonna go grab this pump and then we're gonna throw it in there. All right, here we are. We're back with the new one. It is a standard ignition part number LD-P14. So what we're gonna need to do is we need to put our new gasket in, which just kind of lays up in here like this. You just press it in. There we go. Now we need to put this puppy in where it's gonna line up with all of the holes. Press it in and then rotate it counterclockwise. If we can get it to go, there we go. Just like that. And now just stick our hose on for the charcoal filter. Plug it back in. Wham, bam, dunzo. And all we gotta do is put the wheel liner back on. So one thing with these little spots where they had like the rivets we had to drill out, we can you can use just like a Christmas tree push pin that'll fit in that hole and replace it with those if you'd like. But otherwise, just stick it up in there, put all your push pins back, put your 7mm back, make sure you line your bumper up nice and straight whenever you tighten it down, so it's not sticking out like that or tucked in too far. And then yeah, you're good to go. Just either clear your code or drive it around, and remember, when you clear it, you're gonna have to wait a while for the monitor to run again. But that's it right there. If that video helped you out, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to see more.